Hi everyone, my name is Nanda Araújo. Welcome to another conversation with Within. I'd just like to say something first. My heart is filled with so much gratitude, for the all new subscribe. Thank you so much for subscribe to my channel, and I will appreciate if you watch this channel for the first time. Please subscribe it, and please don't like the video as well. I just like to explain something very quick, to everyone. YouTube is not controlled by a human, it's controlled by a computer. When you watch this video or any other video on YouTube, when you subscribe to the person channel and when you like the video, the computer take the information that people are watching and then it send the video to more people to watch this conversation. And the other thing as well, this conversation they're not gonna be watched only for people in America. I have a setting on my YouTube channel. Anyone for any country they can listen and watch my videos, my conversations, because the computer translates whatever language the person is watching. So that's the reason once again it's so important for you, my friend, to subscribe to my channel and like this video. This way more people can learning from these conversations that we had. So many beautiful conversations on my channel for the one we're gonna have today with Adriana. She's been here before with the eyes talking about her personal life, her personal journey. I mean, her spiritual awakenings in this incarnation. Feel free to look up the video that we have here in the channel that we talked before. But today she's in here with the eyes. We are going to talk only about the subconscious mind. She's a psychologist. She's been working for over 30 years. With thousands and thousands and thousands people, help them, with so many different ways to understand more what's going on to them. She also knows she's a Reiki practitioner, and she's a spiritual guide as well, and she combine spirituality with the psychologist to help her clients. And this is so something so beautiful now that she's doing, and so many other professionals out there they've been using Reiki, spirituality as well in their practices now to help more the clients. Adriana, thank you so much to be here with us, to take some time to have this, I can say, this blessed conversation to educate people and explain to people the power of a subconscious mind. Thanks so much to be here today.
Well, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me back. It's always great to have conversations that hopefully will shed some light and offer people information that can be helpful in their spiritual growth.
100%. But I want to ask a question, Adriana. What age the subconscious mind start developing in a human as a baby, or what is like the time the subconscious mind start developing in our bodies?
Okay. So before I talk about that, I would like to actually introduce the idea of what does it mean the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, the unconscious mind, because some people out there may be a little bit confused what that means. And as I was preparing for this conversation, what came to mind was an iceberg that we see like in Antarctica that looks a lot like a triangle. And in an iceberg, we typically just see the tip of the iceberg. We only see a little bit. That's the conscious mind. That's what we know day to day, what's happening. So, for example, the fact that we're here having this interview is within our conscious mind. We were consciously preparing, we scheduled it, we're here. Below that, below the iceberg, just beneath the conscious mind, just beneath the iceberg is the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is what we are fairly aware of, some patterns, some behaviors, some fears, some triggers, things that are within our grasp that as I'm speaking them, most people out there are able to say, oh, yeah, this is what triggers me. This is what I'm typically afraid of. So, an example of the subconscious issue or concern might be specific to this Zoom call, might be some anxiety around presenting things and doing it well. Let's say that is below the conscious awareness, right? But some people are aware that if they're preparing for a meeting, they're going to feel a little bit anxious. Below that
It's like me.
is the unconscious. Exactly. And me too. Below that, though, is the unconscious. Okay. And that is the work that I do, as well as the subconscious. So we're going to use it interchangeably in this conversation, but I want to clarify for people who are watching that as a psychologist, we typically work with at the subconscious, at the unconscious level. And so at the unconscious level are those issues that we're not fully aware of, but that have an impact on our day-to-day lives, and they influence the way that we see ourselves and the world around us. So, an example of that, specific to this conversation, might be the fear of like imposter syndrome. Like, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm not going to make sense. People are not going to like me. And those are usually locked in the unconscious. People are not consciously thinking about that. It's not necessarily something that they're wrestling with day to day, but if they talk about it, if they really do the work, they're able to kind of get to that fear, that sense of like being an imposter. And so when you were asking about like when does that develop, what we understand is that in early people who studied psychology, like Freud, Sigmund Freud, and Carl Jung, they understood that a lot of these unconscious, what happens in the unconscious, is it happens in early childhood because that is when we are absorbing a lot of the information that is around us. So that means when you are asking, well, when does it happen? It happens as infants, our early years, the times when we're interacting with our caregivers, our parents, our extended family members, and again, children act as sponges, so they're
Yeah.
constantly absorbing that. So when we think about what are our fears, our sense of safety, a sense of belonging, our attachments to people, that is where typically issues around, um, yeah, issues that would reside in the subconscious and the unconscious. That is where they would be located. So you think about the iceberg metaphor. It's you wouldn't see it. It's kind of below the water, deep into the surface, kind of at the lower. And we were talking about being a Reiki practitioner. So that's almost like it's located in the root chakra and the
Mhm.
sacral. It's kind of that level of
Mhm.
energy work is where it can be trapped or blocked because of like the early experiences.
Wow, I got chills all over my body here. This is so beautiful. I love the way you explained it. Thank you so much. But I
Absolutely.
want to let's continue, go a little bit more deeper because, like we talked a little before, now we start recording. Now, there's thousand people right now all over the world, all over the social media, is talking about the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind become now the priority for everyone to talk. The priority for so many people now try to understand. But with all my respect, I'm not judging anyone. So many people don't have the knowledge that you have, for the working for 30 years with thousands and thousands of people. It's something, it's a blessing. That's the reason that I'm so grateful, thankful once again that you are here with your eyes, to educate people, to explain a little bit more so people don't start creating something that doesn't exist now. Because we can create anything in our mind, right? If you listen to someone talk about something, oh, 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 now I understand what I have. If sometimes the information is not the right information, you know what I mean? Then we created that belief, then after that, it can create such a such I mean, serious problems in our life, you know. But like you mentioned before, so many things start. I agree with you when you are a child. But one thing I like to ask you, Adriana, so a lot of children go through a. Let's talk about this. This is came to me right now. A lot of children go through a lot of traumas, like verbal abuse, physical abuse, and sex abuse as well. So all this information is gonna be, stay there in the subconscious mind of the children, right? So my question is, so the children is gonna grow up with a lot of trauma, but in the same way, the subconscious mind is going to protect them, right?
Mhm.
To I'm not okay. I don't want to talk too much. Try to explain. I just want to explain how the subconscious mind is going to. Because what I'm trying to say, a lot of people feel they use it, whatever they went through to protect them, avoid to talking about, fear to talking about. So this is a subconscious mind that created the situation. We can say ego, use the situation to protect us, to keep us trapped in those energies.
Yeah. So I have a lot that comes to mind when you say that. And I want to honor your use of the word subconscious, specific to what you're saying here, because what I would say is on the subconscious level, people would gain enough understanding of what might have happened in their childhood, and they, as adults, let's say, start to seek some kind of support and assistance from a therapist, from a spiritual guide, um, from somebody that they trust, or they do their own shadow work in order to kind of deal with what happened in childhood. So what we see is a lot of people going to like self-help books, doing a lot of manifesting, or ways to reprogram the mind at the subconscious level. Remember, that's right below the conscious. So it requires a person to be a bit aware that that's their issue. But what you were talking about, the trauma, those experiences, the abuse that they experience, often will happen, and then it gets kind of trapped in the level below the subconscious at the unconscious level. So the child then grows up and gets older, and a lot of people are very resilient. They're able to just move through life, and they're able to just grow up and go about their business. But what happens is that they are imprinted with a certain level of pain and trauma that they may not have properly dealt with. And so what happens is that as they get older, it starts to come out in a lot of what is commonly referred to as quote unquote pathology, or difficulties, or shadows. And so it could be in difficulties at work, difficulties with family, difficulties with intimate partners. And so usually somebody would be coming to me complaining of, or telling me that they're going through something. And in the course of the work that I do with them, we kind of go back, and almost we go back in time, and we identify that there were other things that were happening in childhood, for example, that really, really affected them. And so a lot of the work that I do now mostly is related to inner child healing, attachment, and learning our attachment styles. Like, are we an secure attachment style, avoidant? All of these are different terms that the people that I work with begin to understand, a language that helps them understand. Because what I see is that if the conscious is here and the unconscious is here, then there needs to be a conversation. We need to bring what is hidden up to the surface. There needs to be a movement. And so I feel like a lot of times psychotherapy is very helpful. Spirituality can be very helpful and healing, right? But one of the things that has been missing, which is part of the reason why this conversation is so exciting, is how is it that these two areas are often not combined, that they're not integrated? because more and more people are coming to understand themselves as mind, body, spirit. But there are few people who are psychologists who are also mystics or spiritual, or at least practiced enough in having these conversations to, bring that unconscious material up to the surface and help the person heal. So again, kind of whether you call it subconscious, unconscious, bring it to the surface and then feel whole, feel transformed, feel complete.
Oh, this is beautiful. You know, I need to share something with my personal life. When I asked the question, I wasn't think about me, at all. The question came into me, but this is something that I faced now when was a child. That caused me so much fear, so much things. One thing I was making some notes in here. A lot of people, a lot of children, when I go through the situation, and then after a while, they have so much fear even to talk to someone. They are going through something. There's someone did something, was it what the sex abuse or verbal abuse or physical abuse, because whoever was doing those things with them, they tell them, do not tell it for anyone. They
Mm,
make them to be quiet and keep their secret. If you say this is going to happen to you, you know what I mean? They threat them. They want to make sure they have a lot more fear. They don't go out there to tell anyone to avoid the process being doing get in trouble. But I'm gonna try to say, as a child grow up, they need some kind of way, to try to relieve the pain, to try to forget the things they went through. That's one that a lot of people connect, with drugs,
mhm,
alcohol,
mhm.
sometimes uncontrolled sex, sometimes food, and go on and on. But I just like you to talk a little bit about a little bit about the situation that people use. I use it in me personally. I did a lot of things to just uh, uh, to fill up the void, right?
Yeah,
To try to ignore what happened, to try to maybe to delete it in the mind, what
yeah,
happened. But in reality, we can do whatever. Nothing's gonna go away till we treat, till you look for help, for professional help, right?
yeah. Well, I'm of the mindset that a lot of it is also trapped in a clear connection to the divine, to source, to spirit. And again, that has not been thoroughly explored in psychology in a way that I think meets the needs of people out there. I will say that when I was being trained at the master's level, at the doctoral level, I certainly encountered, and there are within the psychological association, there's a division uh, set aside for spirituality. So it's not like psychology completely ignores it, but it sees it as like, oh yes, a person is a spiritual person. So we assess it, we ask questions. If a person wants to talk about religion or spirit in therapy, then we welcome that. But I think people oftentimes they come in with deeper questions around spiritual awakening or purpose or meaning. And the field isn't equipped right now to fully integrate that for them. And so what happens is that people are left, lacking. And specific to lacking, the word when you were speaking moments ago that came to mind, that tendency to look for something that is unhealthy to cope is the shadow aspect,
Mm.
right? And there is no conversation about shadows in psychology. We talk about it in terms of pathology. Their symptoms, and then we try to help them reduce the symptoms and get to a place where they can function. But I think whether it's spirituality or mysticism in particular, we do talk about shadows.
Mm.
And those shadows typically come up or emerge as a result of unprocessed or unhealed,
Yeah.
unconscious, subconscious issues, shame, fear, guilt, um, childhood wounds, things, a sense of unsafety. again, root chakra level issues that affect every level of a person's, ascension
Yes.
across other chakras. The sacral gets affected, our ability to create, our ability to feel like we are alive in many different areas, including our sexuality, our sense of self-esteem through the solar plexus. So you see how whatever is impacted at the root has an impact on every other aspect, including our third eye, our ability to connect with our intuition and ultimately with source. But again, a lot of this is not necessarily seen this way in traditional psychology. But the good news is, I mean, I'm not going to knock the work that I do because I love the work that I do. I just do think that there are some gaps here, which is part of this conversation. Because I have seen in my practice, Nando, that I have helped people over years and years get to a certain point of wellness. And I am still, especially lately, I'm still struck by the need to introduce a conversation around spirit. Like what is going on in your spiritual life? And as I've been receiving more downloads from my spirit team and connecting more with my spirituality, that level of encouragement or processing or exploring becomes important because otherwise they are left lacking. They're given tools, but it's incomplete. The shadow doesn't fully disappear. It just kind of goes like it gets addressed a little bit, but it doesn't fully get resolved.
Oh, this is beautiful. Thank you. The other thing too that I like to mention that what you say about the root chakra, all these things, yes, but it's so important. And in spirituality, so many people uh, see this as a priority. Do the shadow work as well, but the inner child. you
Mm,
know, to work with the inner child. Because when in spirituality we talk, the inner child, is the place where everything's beginning and everything's can end as well. So we that's something I did some inner child works in the past, and relate to my father with a friend of mine for the first time in my life, and I couldn't believe the results. How when I decided to work on my inner child for a lot of things that happened between being my father, my God, that it opened a huge portal for me to be able to heal the all the things that happened between us, to help me to not only to forgive him, but to love him as well
mm,
through
mhm,
inner child work.
mhm.
Because my inner child was there, hurt, scared. So my friend Jeremy, helped me to doing a inner child session to just go there and make peace with the situation. But I want to try to say it's so important. I love when you said corporate spirituality, like you talked a little bit before. So many professionals right now is being connected with spirituality, so they can go a little bit more deeper.
Yeah.
But the inner child is a priority for us to work.
Mm,
I just I work with many people as well, and sometimes when I can see things but the spirit always asks me to go very kind and be gentle, to talk whatever that I felt there. But so many things when I touching people's here in this area here on my hands, I can see a lot of things on me that happen to them in this life, even in other lives as well. But when you start talking, it is, once again, they guide me to talk to them with a lots of love, with a lots of compassion, because it's a very, very delicate, something for them. A lot of people, if you go straight to the point and you go, you know, uh,
yeah.
they don't want to talk.
Yeah.
But it's so important for us to what I try, what I like to say, it's so important for us to look for help.
Yeah.
That's something that I never did once a child. I was scared. I was afraid to look for help. So I was just going through so much stuff, and I kept, I want to share this with you, with everyone else. When I was a child, I used to say, to myself, I will never, ever, ever going to talk with anyone what happened with me. Or
Mm,
it still happened to me. I'm gonna take that to my grave. I'm never gonna talk to anyone. That was what my mother was set back then, to don't talk with anyone about anything at all that happened with me. This zip, stay with me. With the fear to talk to someone, how someone was gonna use the information, was gonna use to help me, was gonna use it to hurt me more.
Mm.
But make long story short, as growing up, and I mean, so then I start learning more. I start receiving more guidance, going to place, metaphysical place, in Brazil. Then things now start, come to me. So they all, then that's when I start doing my inner work, shadow work, inner child work, to go on and on. And then I start open up on myself. But today I don't feel shame anymore. I don't feel regrets anymore. I don't go out there talk with everyone about my past. But if I, like here, if I talk with you about something or someone else or with a client, sometimes I share part of my life, the things that I went through, because they can help the others as well. But like I said, it's part of my life right now. I understand why those things are happening to me. But back then, Adriana, like I said, I make a promise to myself to just,
Yeah.
millions and millions of people are now, as we speak, has the same mentality. They are afraid to go come out and look for professional help, to help them.
Yeah. As you were speaking, Nando, it reminds me, and I thank Spirit for this and for your words, because one of the, when I had my spiritual awakening and when I met with you during that time, one of the things that Spirit said to me is that given my skills, given my spiritual gifts, that one of the things that I really wanted to do, really want to do in my practice is to work primarily, not exclusively, but with other healers, other practitioners, other spiritual guides, those of us who are doing this level of work because we are wounded. We're the empath, by the way, are the ones who are drawing in the negative narcissistic pain. And we are the survivors, we're the fighters, we're the ones who rise like the phoenix, right?
Yeah,
But we're still wounded at the unconscious level, Nando. There's a reason why we're having this conversation. And Spirit is inviting us to do our shadow work and to reach out to someone, to people
yeah,
are who have the knowledge, skills to know how to support us. Because I mean, there's a reason why no sooner after I had my big awakening that I sought you, because I was like, I don't know what happened. Am I going crazy? But oftentimes it's the reason why it's called we it's the dark night of the soul, and we
yeah,
turn inward and we become hermits because a lot of times we do this process by ourselves. And there's something about that that is necessary. I'm not going to say no, but we don't have to do it alone. We need to do it in community. We need to find a professional who can help us, someone who also has their gifts, who can kind of guide us, and someone who's done their own work, because otherwise there's
yeah,
leakage that our stuff starts to affect the other person that we're working with. So it's important to do that shadow work. I mean, yes, Nando, we're not, just because we're spiritual and we have these gifts doesn't make us any less like vulnerable, or like our need is less important to take care of ourselves psychologically. That is, it's important to integrate all of that, to work through it.
yeah. It is beautiful. But I was listening to you, and all the things that I went through, and all the things that you went through as well. Now you see the reason why you went through those things.
Mm,
So we went deep now to find, no, not just try to understand what happened, but to find the healing and through connect, with unconditional forgiveness and unconditional love. My father, for me, was the portal that I have to open because it was closed, to for me be able to spread my wings and fly high as I could. But the fear that I had, okay, let me explain a little bit, not just the fear, the anger that I have through him, I mean, just the resistance, thank you for helping me. The resistance that I have with me so much because I felt that this way I was protecting myself. Say, I will never forgive this man. I'm never gonna say that I love him. I felt this way I'm protecting myself. I'm protecting myself. No one ever is gonna hurt me again. He's never will hurt me again. But the reason I'm sharing this because as we speak right now, millions of people in this planet are facing the same way, are thinking the same way. But it's so important again for us to. There's something when I work with clients, sometimes when I post a video or go live on social media, I always say these things to people. It doesn't matter what you believe or not, my friend. If you don't believe anything, ask for help. Open your mouth to say, I'm asking for help. I'm asking for guidance. I'm asking for assistance. Whatever it is that you are facing, whatever it is you went through, it doesn't matter what. Ask for help, for guidance, and for assistance, and wait and you see what's going to happen to you. It's something that I learned a long time ago and I decided to do to ask for help. I was on my knees many times crying and I asked for help because I felt that was the moment. I don't want to continue live my life this way no more because I was hurting myself and I was hurting the others as well. It took a while, just like that. I still work till today, but I'm such in a better place right now. So now when I talk to people, when I talk to clients now, if I talk about forgiveness, it's the Spirit show me something with them about forgiveness. And then we start talking about forgiveness. Says, oh no, I can never forgive this person. I can share my story about forgiveness with my father. What
Mm.
when I decide to forgive him, when I decide to love him, what happened with to me after that? It's so many other things that happen with me. Sometimes I share with the people, even with our friends. This is happening to me before, what you are facing right now. This is what I did. And now I understand why. I'm in a better place right now because I was able to forgive. I was able to work to myself. I share with them. So when I'm trying to say, that's how we go through awakening. When
Mm.
you decide to open ourselves, when you decide to ask for help, then things start coming because we cannot come out for a shell if you don't ask. But it's something that I like to mention as well. Our ego has such much power in people's mind, like that has in my mind as well. Because my ego, before I would say, you are fine, my friend. You are not hurting anyone. You are not hurting yourself. You don't have alcohol problems. You don't have drugs problems. You don't have a problem. You don't have sex problems. You don't have not. You are perfect. And I believed on that. But that's as a voice inside our mind. If there's a voice, no, I must say, don't ignore the voice, but is it something we need to work on? We cannot just ignore what's going on with us now. And but the other thing that I like to ask, related to all these things we've been talking right now, how, because so many people talk about, the subconscious mind. Oh, in the morning is the best time for you to use your subconscious mind to manifest, or to do this, whatever. And the evening before you go to sleep is the best time as well. For your subconscious mind when you are almost falling asleep, to visualize or to manifest or to try to work with the healing. How can you explain, I mean, what's the best time for us to use a subconscious mind? If this is real, this is true, the best time is in the morning, early in the morning when you wake up, before you fall asleep in the night.
Well, for what you're describing, you're probably better off asking a hypnotherapist specific to when is the best way to kind of train your mind to absorb information that can maybe change your patterns and behaviors. And now, when you're using the word subconscious, that is where a lot of like behavioral problems can occur, where you're manifesting or you're trying to reprogram the mind. Or if you see a hypnotherapist, they usually try to target the subconscious mind by targeting some fears that need to be addressed, and they can kind of offer some, they can kind of they offer anchoring in at that level, in order to offer a person a different way to think if they get trapped in like a fear or an avoidance or something like that. So for me, it's less about the timing and it's more about the doing. So
Okay.
if we're going to talk about as a psychologist and what I feel comfortable discussing, I would say there is something very, very important about getting into a routine that is going to be integrative and helpful to your growth. So, what I mean by that is if you talk to your therapist regularly and check in. If you meditate, meditate regularly. If you do what's called somatic work, which is where you work therapeutically on your body, being in touch of your sensations where you experience anxiety, difficulties, challenges, do that level of work. If you visit a Reiki healer, make sure that you're keeping in touch with that level of healing. If you pull tarot, for example, that you integrate that as part of your practice and are diligent about that. So again, it's not so much of like when, but and exercising, like to do it. Like what is it that they recommend to do exercise regularly rather than once a month? Because you're not going to see progress if you do it at that level. So as someone who teaches on the subject, who does therapy with people and spiritual counseling, what I've noticed is that people who do something, some kind of ritual regularly, are the ones who benefit the most.
Yeah, I do believe that it's so important for us. Don't try one time. Don't just do one time.
Yeah,
Even I can use those. I'm a massage therapist as well. Sometimes I work with some people. Oh, my neck is bad because I sit on computer a lot for 8 hours a day. My shoulders, my back. And then I explain to them. I ask some few questions. I suggest some things. But one thing I say this: you need more than one session.
yeah,
What I'm gonna do here is gonna help you, but you do need more session. Maybe not for a few weeks. You know what I mean? You come once a week. You know, even can come more than one time a week. But then after that, slowly, I mean, you can just go like 3 weeks, after 3 weeks, or once a month. But to help, I suggest maybe some stretch, some yoga, some meditation. Go see a chiropractor as well. I don't try to keep the class this way to me, but I'm gonna try to say a lot of people want the result just like that. And
yeah,
sometimes if you don't feel, or sometimes when you work there, that we are working the muscles or other things, it's a little bit more painful. You feel the pain, and they feel, oh no, I don't want to continue doing this because this is hurting me.
yeah,
But I explained to them, I'm not gonna go too deep to make you feel a lot of pain, but I have to press a little bit the muscle because this way, more blood flows in the area. They start release all the stocks in the muscle, whatever it is to help you. But it's a process. You need more than one session, like I said before. But also again, people sometimes just want to see the results like that. There's just so many people. I'm not judging anyone out there. Say, "Oh, I tried this. I went to talk with another. I went to talk to Adriana. I went to this, and
yeah,
nothing's helping me." But you went one time.
yeah. Well,
You
I
had
think
one.
that
You had one session.
right.
It's impossible. A lot of things will happen in one session. Yes, but it's a continuation. It's a process.
Yeah.
Now you
Well, one
need
of
to
the things that I
continue to because I'm going to because this in here is very powerful. This in here has so much power. A couple of months ago, was working to a client, and the spirit said, "Tell her this is a AI, my friend." It was kind of funny. This spirit said, "This is a AI. Whatever that you put in here, it become your reality, your mind that you create for you, and it's more powerful than you can imagine."
well, I think part of it is also that we've become sensitized to this idea that, especially in spiritual communities, when we talk about like manifestation, that it's supposed to be immediate results, and that somehow we're doing things wrong if we don't see the results right away. Over the years, I can say, as doing, you know, straight clinical practice, that people who get frustrated with the process of therapy, who have these expectations of like, oh, I've had 3 sessions, why am I not feeling better? uh, Typically have difficulties hanging in there unless the expectations are clarified and discussed. Like, okay, this is going to take some time. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen, like it's going to take forever. It just means that you're going to need to reset those expectations. And again, I think especially with spirituality, it gives us an opportunity to be open to miracles because things can happen quickly. Transformation can happen without us expecting it. I think about the Tower card in tarot, where life can just throw things our way, and things can just, things can be moved and shifted overnight. But I think true change occurs with a certain level of commitment to the work, and that change does require time. Um, it's interesting that a lot of what I saw when I had my bigger spiritual awakening around 2 years ago, around the time that I saw you, at that time, I saw a lot of different things that it's taken 2 years to get to where we are. And by the way, just like you shared, I was like sitting in my altar crying, saying, well, why isn't it happening now? Why isn't it, what am I doing wrong? And, I could hear spirit saying, you're not doing anything wrong. I could pull a tarot or oracle that said, you're going down the right path. And I still felt like there was something fundamentally that I was doing wrong. And again, at the unconscious level, there could be issues with, shame or fear or imposter syndrome. And so it becomes an opportunity for us to do our own shadow work so that when we're doing the work with people, we are clear about our own stuff. And it isn't about perfection, it's simply to be accountable. Oh, this is my stuff. And when I'm working with this other person, I can hold that for them because they're going through it right now. I can be there without putting my stuff into the stuff that's happening for someone else, which by the way a lot of people are not trained to do because we're not. I mean, I do tarot for people, and but I come at it from a different perspective. I had somebody recently who saw me for a tarot spread, and she was like, oh, well, you do it differently than other tarot readers. And I'm like, well, I mean, that's just kind of what I bring to the table. And you were saying earlier about like sometimes people want a quick solution, and that's sometimes where tarot can come in, where people will, ask a tarot reader to pull some cards or a spread. But the challenge there is like, let's say that the tarot says, you're going to be working in a team or you're going to be in a leadership position. But if it doesn't happen in a month, then the person's like, well, what happened? Or I don't like that tarot reader. Or I don't. So again,
Yeah.
it's about a process. And there may be some things that need to happen along
Yes.
the way to get us
Mhm.
there. Again, the what's happening at the subconscious or unconscious level that can kind of, increase our vibration and get us to where we are more aligned with our purpose and our journey. So,
That's beautiful. Yeah, I like what you explained. But as I was listening to you, and I was trying to remember someone's name. I'm gonna say his name soon. But because you, as a professional, you after you awake, you say spirituality can help me a lot as a professional psychologist as well with my clients. And you learn Reiki, you start incorporating spirituality in your practice. And like we mentioned before, so many professionals doing the same thing right now. But one of those guys, they're very famous. I believe you know him, Dr. Joy Dispenza, and he's a science, and he's a doctor as well. He's one of those number one spiritual leader out there right now. He don't see him like that, but the things though, his story now that when decide, to start talking to people, go to place, start talking about so many different things, the things he received a lot of guidance, a lot of information from the spirit, then he start talking, let's see, he had 200 people there, he start talking, maybe, about, the positive thoughts, negative thoughts. This is an example, right? But in the end, people start approaching him and say, "Oh, Dr. Joe Dispenser, oh my God, I was listening to you, you were talking about we can release, this or that." I was able, I felt a shift on me. I feel better. I don't feel what I was feeling before.
Mm,
And then he started making notes, two more people, three more people, 10 more people come to him. He talk to him about what happened after listen to him. And then after that, he just go to the sites, community, let me talk all the sites. Hey, I was there talk with 200 people about the positive thoughts, negative thoughts. Many people in the end start come to talk to me. So they felt a shift, and I mean, this, that, sharing the testimony with me. And then everybody say, this is not real, this is not possible, because science, I'm gonna make a long story short. Science, before they don't believe in a lot of things. They don't care about spirituality, meditation, yoga. They don't believe all those things at all. Science before want to say, I need to see to believe. Myself. If not, I don't believe anything.
mm,
But anyway, so it is happening over and over again. But every time he go there, talk to them and say, "Oh, okay." And then he just go away. Then he go to another place. They talk about something else. And then more people start approaching him. People cry, "Oh my God, thank you so much." Uh, he said, "Oh my God, something's going on here." He back again to talk at the other sides, the communities. And once again, everybody was against. This is not possible. This doesn't make sense. Blah blah blah. Well, make a long story short, one day he said, "Fuck all those people." That's what he
mm,
said. I'm doing something here. They are helping people.
mhm.
I'm not gonna ask anyone opinions anymore. I'm gonna do it what I'm feeling God to do. And then he kept doing. Make a long story short, now he has so many books published out there, and now so many sites. Back then, there was against him. There was no believing the things that he was talking. He's been using his technique now as well. They believe in his techniques. So many people been using. Now he's all over the world helping millions and millions of people. But because when I'm trying to say with the story that he used this spirituality, in his practice, that's when he see, the result was different than before.
Yeah,
I'm not here to try to make people know everyone's become a spiritual person, but I'm gonna try to say we need to be open because guidances they can come to us in many different ways. But what I'm trying to say is so important for us don't listen to others.
yeah,
Maybe tomorrow you're gonna talk with a bunch of people, sharing your experience as a professional, as a psychologist, what you are doing. Some people maybe agree, or lots of people maybe disagree with you now, but in time, they're gonna say, they're gonna come back to you. Hey, I like to talk to you. I like to learn more. It will, like I said, it happening all the time, all different professions, all different areas.
yeah. I thank you for that. I think that what I know about my gifts and is confirmed by this example that you offered is that I do have healing energy. And I think that's part of the reason why I was drawn to Reiki, because I see Reiki as that bridge. It's known as a practice. It's a way to channel energy and offer it to others. But what I can say is that even before any kind of spiritual language specific to, like the more esoteric language around spirituality, I had these gifts. I mean, I 30 years ago when I sat with my first client, I felt an energy in that room, and the first time that I sat there, and I didn't have a lot of training, but I knew what I needed to do, and I can't explain it. All I know is that I felt very guided, and what I will say about me and the work that I do without coming across as egocentric or boastful, but I will say is that the people that I work with do get better. And those that don't get better, the work that we do serves as a foundation for what they do
Yeah,
after.
yeah,
Because I do believe in the power of healing energy, and I've seen it happen time and time again. And now that I have the language, what I see is that I'm almost able to like read their Akashic records, tap into people's Akashic records, and I can see past, present, future because there is time is an illusion. So when I'm sitting with someone, I'm seeing all of them, right? And their book. And so, as I'm sitting with them, I can see where they're kind of stuck. And I'm saying, oh, this is where I need to kind of do the work, where the work needs to happen, whether it's at the unconscious level or behavioral issues or wounds or inner child. And then the spiritual part of mine is hope that the person is going to get better, right? So I think that spirituality offers something, energy work offers something. People who want to tap into that are being offered something that perhaps traditional psychotherapy exclusively may not offer. And what you just shared is an example of it. Science may not be able to quantify it and say, oh, yes, that we did research study but people know when they're in the presence of something that is transformative. And I never like to attribute it to me. I think there's an energy that contributes to that. And as a Reiki practitioner, I am a conduit of that energy. I simply serve as a vessel. And the people who are on the receiving end are the ones who benefit from that. But what I will say is, I benefit from the work as well. Even if I'm giving the energy, I'm receiving something
yes,
as I'm transmitting it. So it's win-win for me
yeah.
in this kind of work that I do.
I agree with
It
you.
it always has been, by the way. It always has, because
Yeah,
what the other thing before I stop is, I when I am doing the work, it is almost like I'm channeling. So a lot of times as I'm talking, even now, I'm like, there's a part of me that's like, I was like, oh my gosh, you're saying this, and it's almost like, oh, because
yeah,
spirit is the one who's kind of
yeah,
like transmitting. You see what I
yeah,
mean? Which is a beautiful thing. I'm
yeah,
hearing myself, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. It's a beautiful. One thing that I like to was listening to you. It came to me to chat with people, and a lot of people know about this. You, as a professional psychologist, me as a massage therapist, as a Reiki master, the things that I do, the things we do, is so many other people, doctors, it go on and on. There are so many spirits out there. They lived in here before. They did what you're doing right now. What I'm doing
Mhm.
right now is so many other people's. When you connect with the right frequency, to connect with them, they start communicating with us. Sometimes you wake up in the morning or in the middle of the day, I amazing idea pop in your mind.
Yeah,
It then say, "Oh my God, I had this amazing idea." It, yeah, I'd say that. Oh my God, I had this amazing idea. But I know I used to say that, but I know the idea came from a spirit,
yeah,
to me,
yeah,
to use because they come to us, to help us. Like I said, this is on all the areas out there. So many doctors, so many people that are doing research on me to cure cancer, all the other things like that, discover something, come to them. It's so many spirits, help them, guiding them. That's what the reason I want to say again. The spirit asked me to say this again. Once again, keep this in mind, whatever that you are faced, or maybe whatever that you want to do, ask for help, ask for guidance, and ask for assistance. It then say what it is, and you see what's gonna happen. This is something that I'm constantly doing to myself right now. And I always say this to you: you can do with anything, I mean, anything. I have so many stories that I when I receive the guidance, they say, start asking. No, they start ask for help, guys, and assist for anything. One day I had a problem to my computer. I come home, I I press the button to turn on my computer. My computer was dead, nothing happened. You know what I mean? So the charge was there plugged in. So, oh my God, this is a new computer. It's a brand new computer. What happened? Blah, blah, blah. I panicked. It was raining. I had to take my son to the class. I tried to call someone to look at my computer. It then the spirit said, go take your son to his class. Leave the computer alone. I said, okay. I put the computer over there and I went to take my son to the class. Then we come home, we had dinner. Then after that, we went meditated, we prayed, we went to sleep. The next day, I wake up in the morning. This. I asked for, can someone help me here, please, to see what's going on to my computer. So then I open my computer. This is true story. I heard the voice. It's not plugged in. Push it in. The little plug in here. Let me take the. See the little plug in here was inside, but I was not turned inside, right? So then I did that. I pressed the power button. Ba-da! I said, thank you. After that day, my friend, I never stopped to ask for help for God's assistance. For anything.
Yeah,
I have so many stories, man, so many stories. They they come to help us.
yeah.
But we about the time that you give to us. I want to respect there, but we talk about so many beautiful things in here, very powerful things in here, and I'm so grateful because so many things that you said, the way you explained it here, even for myself, I learned a lot with you today. But I do suggest once again for you, my friend, to face all your fears. It doesn't matter what, and look for help. Even if you don't know where to go, even if you don't have the financial, even if you don't have a health insurance, it doesn't matter, man. Don't let things that you maybe know you don't have, what I mean, stop you. Just ask. I guarantee you 100% the help will come to you. It came for her. She did. It came for me and for so many other people that I know as well. But it's very important, like she mentioned before, we talk, you need to be patient. It's a process. It takes time. So layer by layer, you're going to be able to reach the level you want to reach. It took me a long time ago. Do you think I'm the place that I want to be? No, but I'm in a better place now. She's in a better place right now. But she knows that she has a lot of work to do, and I have a lot of work to do. We talk a little bit in the beginning before we start recording here. The Spirit asked me to say to hold it for myself as well. Put your foot down on the gas, and go fast. Don't stop. Don't allow the mind to slow down. Say, oh, I don't know if I'm good enough. Or I don't know if I'm capable enough. Or I don't know if I have everything that I need. If you receive the guidance for your spirit to do something, that's because you are in the right place at the right time. You are ready for that. The Spirit will give everything that you need if you take the step of faith to do it. Once again, don't allow anything to stop you.
What I wanted to say before we end our call here is that I am well aware that there are people out there who are struggling, people who are fellow healers, people who are also on their own spiritual journey. And, you know, it's great that they have access to you, that they have access to someone like me if they wanted to. But I've also been kind of encouraged by my own spirit team to start my own spiritual group on Zoom and to target people who are in the collective who are in need of support. One of the things that has been very, very helpful in my own spiritual journey has been meeting with groups and the power. I mean, I run groups as a therapist, but I think participating in one and then now being ready to offer that for those who would who need it. So it would be kind of an open group. And so I am going to start hosting them on Saturdays at around 1 p.m. So people who are watching, who are interested, can certainly get in touch, and I'd be happy to have them participate.
Yeah, if you can this share how people can reach out to you, Adriana, to
Sure.
participate, or maybe not to have a session one on one, because I like to say this, I'm not saying this now for just saying, this is real. It comes from a place of love. She is very, very gifted, I'm so grateful. If I said to her more than one time, Eva, yesterday on text message, that I'm grateful, thankful that God, the Spirit, crossed our lives, because our energy is something. It's kind of almost impossible to find a word to express, to explain, her energy, what she carrying with her. It's something that she work a lot on, to connect with those energies. It's not something that you can buy with money. It's something that you need to do. So be able, like I said before, when you connect to the right frequencies, the spirit start coming to you, reach out to you, communicate to you. And she did that. She's in a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place right now, my friend. As you listen this conversation today, you can feel, because energies is not something that you can fake, or you have or you don't, now we can fake a lot of things. Oh, I'm a nice person, I'm a nice guy, I'm very kind. It's a bunch of lies, right? Energy, my friend, you don't need to say to anyone, hey, I have a very good energy, I'm this. No, you don't need to say to no one. People feels, right? you know, People feels, and she has them, my friend. And I know you can. You felt there, and if you connect with her, I don't want to say nothing more. I just want to, you uh, 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 follow your guidance, and you see what's gonna happen, my friend. Go ahead, my friend.
Well, I appreciate it. If people want to connect, they can certainly reach out on my website. It's my last name, Castro, Castro hyphen my last name, Converse, Convers, counseling, castroconversecounseling.com. And maybe if you're able to post it as part of the recording so that people can maybe click on the link or something like that. Um,
That's beautiful.
but you
That's
can
beautiful.
certainly, people can Google my full name, Adriana Castro Converse, and they can easily find me.
But I need to share this here with everyone, because you made something that you uh, create a group, online. It is like, and you receive the guidance. I received the same guidance as well. Not today, yesterday. I think it was a couple months ago, and I still waiting. I don't know for what. I don't need to wait for anything. But when you mentioned that to me, was the spirit to say, "See, what are you waiting for?" Because the spirit will ask me to do the same thing now. Start sending email for all your clients, and start talking to people, use Zoom, and create a group to talk about spirituality, to talk about energies, because it's a good way to, because when you talk in group, the energy, it's like, when you go to a rake circle, you can have a rake session one on one, but when you go to a rake circle, oh my God, the energy
Yeah,
is beyond you can imagine. So powerful. Even sometimes when you're on the table, if everyone decide to join the rake patrician at the moment, and everybody lays hands on you. Oh my God. Because it's so much energy. It's something beautiful. There's something that I need to follow my guides, and do, what I need to do, because it's a reason for that. The reason you receive those guidances is because the spirit, being ask us, God and eyes, to do something that is important, because our people, this is for you as well, dear listener, right now. Our people need you. Our planet needs you. Everyone is gifted. Every single person in this planet has gifts. But because sometimes we went through so many things in our lives, like we talked before, we are in this place now that we think that we are protecting ourselves. We need to come out, my friend. You need to know, like we talked before, ask for help, start doing the inner work, the shadow works, you know what I mean? So you can start use your gifts to help our people. Okay? But anyway, so Adriana, once again, thanks so much, my friend, to be here today. And I want to say thank you once again for everyone that subscribe to my channel. Once again, I appreciate you can subscribe to my channel, like this video, so this way this message can reach more people as well. Bless everyone with the fitness abundance, and I'm sending a lot of love, healing energy for everyone. And please feel free to make any comment below about this conversation, maybe ask some questions or whatever it is. This is our open channel for everyone, okay? Uh, Blessings to all. Just one moment, Adriana. Let me stop this in here.